What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stokastic Best Ball channel. And we got a quick video here where we're going to talk about our top 5 volume values. That is running backs who, compared to their ADP expectations, we expect them to get plenty of touches. Now, expect some relatively unsexy names here. We're not going to name any player inside the top 30 running backs in positional ADP. Here to break down these volume values today is Nick Lepre. Follow him at Notorious FNTSY. How are you today, Nick?
As always, I'm doing excellent. I'm very excited to talk about this topic also, as always. And this is going to be the spot where you could potentially win your league with one of these really deep down in the draft board running backs. And when I say win your league, since we're talking about best ball, that means win the whole pot, win that $2 million, take that home. So very excited to talk about this today. And let us know down below in the comment section who your favorite running back after running back 30 is.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Goes a long way. Helps us decide what we're going to build out content-wise next for you all. And, say hello. Say we're idiots. Say anything you want. It's always nice to hear from you guys. And subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, too, so you know when we're going live. You get all the updates there. Yeah, some league winners here. And maybe just some people laying down the floor 8 to 10 points. Running back 2 that helps you and your top tier flex players get you over the top into a tournament winning score as well. So if I had to talk about a running back value, a player who from a ADP standpoint sticks out as a player who's going to get more touches than people think, who's that first player that you think of?
For me, it is Devin Singletary, who right now fits just in that category as running back 33. Last season, at the beginning of the year, things were looking brutal, right? We really had no idea who the number one running back was on the team. There was a lot of hype about Zach Moss. They have Devin Singletary. They also had a couple of other players as well, and it was really a disaster. His only really good week was in week number 2 up against my Miami Dolphins, where he took us to Pound Town. He scored a touchdown, almost 100 yards. But then after that, things were a little bit bleak. But towards the end of the season, from week number 14 on, is when he really started to catch fire, like the Hunger Games book. And I believe in 2022, even with James Cook there, the guy that they just drafted, I really do believe that Devin Singletary is going to be the lead back on the team. Sure, are we going to be mad when James Cook scores a touchdown every once in a while? Yes, but we're also going to be mad when Josh Allen does the exact same thing, because Josh Allen has that capability as well. When I want to draft a running back late in drafts, I want to find a guy who I think is going to be the guy, like Savoca has talked about a bunch of times, on week number 1, down number 1. If they hand the ball off, who's it going to? The answer is Devin Singletary. And I personally really believe in 2022 that he's going to build on what he did down the stretch. There's really no more worries about Zach Moss taking over anything. It's really just going to be Devin Singletary and James Cook in the backfield. So I'm very excited about Devin Singletary this season. And coming off the board at pick running back 33, that puts him at ADP 97.8 overall. So he's almost outside of the top 100. I think people are being a little too foolish on Devin Singletary, especially with how good the Buffalo Bills could be this season. And by could be, I mean they probably will be one of the best teams in the NFL.
So, yeah, I was completely agreeing with you in silence there, as this is one of the best offenses. We expect them to be an elite passing offense, but we also expect them to be getting to the goal line plenty this year. And goal line opportunities are where Devin Singletary could really crush. And one thing, he really, really beat up poor defenses last year. Huge games at the end of the season against Atlanta, the New York Jets, teams that typically not known for their defensive line prowess. He took care of things on the ground last season, a top 10 performer over the last half of the season. Absolutely agree there. The bearish case is that Singletary doesn't get third down work, that they want a passing specialist that they don't really feel he's suited for fully. But I don't think that's the most likely outcome. I think James Cook is a true handcuff going pretty darn high. Now, a player that I'm really interested in outside the top 50 running backs in positional ADP that I think could just offer you free value and from a volume standpoint might actually be a better value than his teammate. I'm talking about Jamal Williams of the Detroit Lions. Now, I know DeAndre Swift is a second-round pick this year. People are expecting him to take a major step forward, and they think that he's going to catch all these passes. Kamara North is what we've referred to him as, but there was a play caller change midseason. And after that play caller change, we didn't see nearly the same passing volume for DeAndre Swift. And most importantly, the opportunities for Jamal Williams, anytime he was healthy, stayed relatively steady. Last 5 weeks of his 2020 season, 20 opportunities, 18 opportunities, 19 opportunities, 14 opportunities, 14 opportunities. And we're seeing an average of 58 yards per game. That is healthy volume. I'm happy to take Jamal Williams as a late round flyer at running back 55 outside the top 150.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that point. I really think that Jamal Williams is also one of those running backs where it's very clear that he is the backup on the team, where it's very clear that if something was to happen to DeAndre Swift, that Jamal Williams is going to be taking the reins. And that can't be said for a lot of running backs in the NFL. If James Conner was to get hurt right now, I don't think it's very clear which running back is going to be seeing the touches behind him. Is going to be Williams? Is going to be Eno Benjamin? And this is the case with a decent amount of teams in the NFL. There's a lot of smoke about Donta Foreman behind Carolina and Christian McCaffrey, but they also still have Chuba Hubbard. So, I mean, to me, this is a clear handcuff with a decent amount of upside, even when DeAndre Swift is healthy, because these are two different backs. Jamal Williams is a little bit bigger, and there's going to be a lot of goal line opportunities for Jamal Williams, especially if the Detroit Lions offense continues to play kind of how they did deep down the stretch of last season. I understand that the Lions are kind of a dumpster fire of a team, but they're a little bit better than most people give them credit for. And same thing goes with their quarterback, Jared Goff. I know he gets a lot of shit, but he's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a bottom 10 offense, but
Yeah.
moving towards league average, that's absolutely possible, especially getting players like DJ Chark, hopefully a healthy Jamison Williams. Again, DeAndre Swift is not getting a 75% opportunity share. Jamal Williams will carve out a role here, and he's basically free. Second player, a volume value for you, a little bit further down the board. I think I know where you're going because I know that this player, at least the one I'm thinking of, has an early round player that people are really hyped about, a la DeAndre Swift, but you're taking a veteran. Am I wrong here?
Yes, you're very correct. Now, I didn't go super deep down the draft board. Devin Singletary was RB33. This next player, running back 37, Melvin Gordon, ADP 109.7. Now, the thing with Melvin Gordon is he has been very good basically his whole entire career, aside from his rookie season. But obviously, that's his rookie year, so you don't really got to expect too much. But recently, he has been really good. And 2 years in a row in Denver of over 900 yards. Last year, they bring in the new shiny toy, Javonte Williams. Everyone is getting the rocks off drafting him, when in reality, Melvin Gordon was at a much cheaper price last year. He's at a much cheaper price yet again. If Javonte Williams was to go down, Melvin Gordon will 100%, in my opinion, be a top 5 running back at the end of the season in a points per game basis without Javonte Williams. I think that Javonte Williams is a very good running back, and I've tried to make this clear across a lot of videos that I don't think Javonte Williams is some trash can. I just really believe that the Denver Broncos are not going to bring Melvin Gordon back. Again, rushes for over 900 yards last year. He has 8 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. He had 38 targets last year. This is a guy that is a legitimate force in this offense. There's a reason why they brought him back. They gave him that contract is because they plan to run him yet again. Now, do I think Javonte Williams is better than Melvin Gordon? 100%. But I think that there's going to be like a 60-40 split in favor of Javonte Williams that is going to really hurt Javonte Williams' value. But Melvin Gordon just going this late, to me, it's a no-brainer, especially if Russell Wilson elevates this offense to superstardom.
Yeah, I want the other thing to be true. My best ball lineups want the other thing to be true. I really love Javonte Williams, the talent. We've argued this back and forth throughout the offseason, but I think the clearest and easiest answer is Melvin Gordon isn't going anywhere. And as you said, if Javonte Williams goes down, Melvin Gordon will absolutely be the guy. So there is significant upside here, especially considering the massive quarterback upgrade. Now I want to talk about another player. We'll go way down the board here. And actually, there was some news this week about his teammate that he's going earlier in drafts, his teammate, but this player is still not really being talked about in a way that I think he should be at this point in the offseason. It's Gus Edwards of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, he missed the entire 2021 season with a torn ACL. He was set for approximately, a week to be the bell cow in Baltimore between the time that his teammate, J.K. Dobbins, injured his knee and when Gus Edwards ultimately went down himself. Now, Dobbins has tweeted that he is actually going to be ready For the preseason, apparently, I don't think players have a really good gauge of when they're actually going to be full strength. I know it's their body, but they're just overly optimistic, especially this time of year. We are seeing reports that not only was the surgery difficult for J.K. Dobbins, but he also had significantly more damage than just the ACL. It's weird to say that Gus Edwards' ACL tear was cleaner and therefore we're going higher on him. But ultimately, I think Gus Edwards is just another player who is going to get 10 touches on a team that has the most team rush plays per game when their quarterback is healthy. He was 7th in the NFL in 2020 in true yards per carry. I think Gus Edwards just deserves opportunities in this backfield, especially as we would expect this team to ease J.K. Dobbins into a role. 6'1", 238. He's a bruiser, a goal line back, and yes, Lamar Jackson rushes plenty. But at the end of your drafts, I mean, come on, guys. Sometimes he doesn't even get drafted. I think Gus Edwards is free value on one of the best running teams in the league.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Gus Edwards has been a running back that I've kind of been drafting all offseason long. Now, even with the reports about J.K. Dobbins, that's obviously very positive in terms of Gus Edwards. But even if J.K. Dobbins is quote unquote good to go week one, he's out there. Do you really believe that they're going to be rolling him out 100%? They're probably going to kind of ease him in there. And that is going to mean that Gus Edwards is going to be seeing even more opportunity. I think that in 2022, right now, based upon what you said exactly, this is going to be one of the most run heavy offenses in the NFL. This is going to be an offense that is scoring a bunch of points every single game. There's really no reason not to take a deep shot on a running back that could be the number one running back on the team at points in the season for the most run heavy team. And if, like you were talking about last year, Gus Edwards was like a fucking 5th round pick last year after J.K. Dobbins got hurt. So that alone should tell you that Gus Edwards is talented enough to take over this backfield in Baltimore. And then after Gus Edwards, I understand maybe Edwards isn't fully healthy, but after him, it's a wasteland, right? They've got Mike Davis, they've got Tyler Batty. And to me, it's pretty clear Gus Edwards is going to be the guy if J.K. Dobbins is not able to start the season correctly. And if he gets put on the PUP list, then you're going to get 4 straight weeks of probably excellent production out of Edwards.
Yeah, well said. Well said. And we said we were going to give you 5. We got one more bonus player for you. But before we reveal that, just want to mention, give a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. We're referring to Underdog Fantasy ADPs here because they have some of the sharpest ADPs I've ever seen in any year in the fantasy football industry. Their best ball tournaments for all sports, especially the NFL, have just been completely bonkers this year. They got the Best Ball Mania 3 tournament that rages on all summer long. $25 entry gives you 3 opportunities to win $1 million. The first place team wins $2 million, and the first place team in the regular season wins $1 million. Really cool stuff there. They've had puppy tournaments 2 so far. The puppy 3 they announced is starting August 1st. And guys, when you sign up, use promo code AWESEMO, AWESEMO, to get up to a $100 first match deposit bonus. That's 4 free entries into that Best Ball Mania 3 tournament, or 20 free entries into that puppy tournament that's about to drop. They've also got some high stakes draft like the Bulldog and the Great Dane. Just some awesome stuff going on over at Underdog. Sign up today and use promo code AWESEMO. Okay, our 5th and final player, our 5th volume value. Take it away, Nick. Who is that 5th and final player you're thinking of?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be running back 42 of a team that is probably the least sexy team in the NFL. Dameon Pierce, running back of the Houston Texans. ADP, again, running back 42, pick 128.7. Now, I understand that Dameon Pierce wasn't a first, second round draft capital, but in the Texans running back room, someone tried to tell me who is going to be the number 1 running back and tell me how it's not going to be Dameon Pierce unless Marlon Mack miraculously 2 years down the line from that Achilles injury is perfectly fine. Maybe that's true, but they've got Marlon Mack. They've got Rex Burkhead, who Rex Burkhead has just been one of those guys that is just a guy that played on the Patriots. You'd see him every once in a while. He'd score a touchdown, but he was never going to be the number 1 guy. He's not going to be the number 1 guy in Houston. Then they have Dameon Pierce, and then they have the guy who everyone had a debate with, James Robinson, Dare Ogunbowale. So this running back room of Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, Dameon Pierce, and Dare Ogunbowale seems very wide open for one of them to grab a strong stranglehold of. Now, if you're not a Damian Pierce guy, I 100% believe you should just draft Marlon Mack with one of your last picks because he has shown off that he could get 1,000 yards in the NFL. But at the end of the day, I think Damian Pierce, as the rookie, is going to look the best out of this group. Last year, Florida, he played in 13 games. He had 100 rushing attempts for 574 rushing yards. He had 19 receptions, so he's not Christian McCaffrey or something, but he can catch passes. He also scored 16 total touchdowns last year in Florida. I really do believe Damian Pierce is going to be given the opportunity to be the lead back in Houston, and finding the lead back on any team at pick 128.7 is basically impossible. And if Damian Pierce starts getting some smoke in early August, there's talks about him being the lead back, his ADP is going to move, and it's going to move quickly. So get Damian Pierce right now before it's too late, because I think his ADP is going to keep moving, and it already has moved. Earlier on, he was like pick 150, 160, but he's quickly rising now.
There you have it. Top 5 volume values at the running back position. The unsexy picks, not necessarily going to get you 40 points every single game, but the upside is there, and the floor value, especially with the expected touches for all 5 of these players, can help you take down these big underdog tournaments. Nick, this was a whole lot of fun. You guys follow him at Notorious FNTSY. You can follow me at Draftaholic. We will be back soon enough talking all things best ball here on the Stokastic Best Ball channel. For Nick, I'm Matt. We'll see you guys later.